Hello, hello. Welcome to Delayed Game. We're here to talk about football. Men are talking about football. First of all, football season is starting up. We're getting ready. We talk about some injuries in training camp right now. We're gonna start off with AFC. What we got as far as injuries in the AFC?
So the New England Patriots have suffered a couple of wide receiver injuries. They actually wound up bringing in Eric Decker to work him out. They lost. Edelman's going to be out for the season. No, not out for the season. Out for 4 games for suspension. And
what do you get suspended for?
Performance enhancing PEDs. And it was Matthews. Jordan Matthews is who got hurt, and the Patriots.
They let him go today.
Yeah, they released him. Yeah, I think it was a hamstring injury.
Mm-hmm.
So they brought in Decker. They worked him out. They haven't, there hasn't been any word about if they're going to sign him yet or not. And then I think the Steelers had a couple of injuries in camp.
Ramon Foster went down as far as the Steelers are concerned. Got a couple of little nicks and few things, but I think they'll be fine. Is that it?
No, let's see. Well, some people, we're talking about injuries, but, we have some teams, too, that have people coming back. So, of course, you have Andrew Luck. They say he's going to be ready week 1. He supposedly has no limitations in camp. We'll see about that because we've heard some crazy stories with Andrew Luck. So,
but they seem to be babying him along. They seem to be taking his time with putting him in the full.
He hasn't played in 2 years, right?
It was just last year, wasn't it?
No, it's been 2 whole years.
Oh, wow.
He was off the whole season last year.
Yeah, so
Last year was the season they kept trying to say, he'll be back this week, he'll be back
exactly. They kept pushing it back.
That he wasn't coming back.
Exactly.
Right. Oh, okay.
That'll be interesting to see how that turns out after 2 years on the sideline.
Especially like earlier in the year when they were trying to say he wasn't even picking up a football and throwing it. Now,
yeah, he went from that to he's going to be ready week 1. That
Right.
does seem a little like miraculous recovery type deal.
Yeah.
Thinking about another quarterback in the AFC, think about Ryan Tannehill. You think he's fully recovered and ready to take on that
Yeah, the ACL.
ACL.
Right?
Yeah, it was ACL. Okay, I just want to make sure on that too.
I mean, my opinion when it comes to ACLs and quarterbacks, they seem to heal faster because I guess, their game doesn't require as much of the cutting and running. So even if he's not 100%, he should be able to drop back and do the things he needs to do from the pocket. So, I mean, if he may be a little limited with the scrambling, but as a quarterback, ACLs are a little less hampering, I think, than they were trying to do.
Yeah, because you figure quarterback, the biggest thing you want to be able to do is move in the pocket, just slide or glide, just to get you more time to get the ball to the receivers and the running backs and somebody that can do more with the ball than you trying to run with it. Tannehill, he ran, but he wasn't like a known, quarterback for running. He was more of a pocket passer.
Right, exactly.
That covers some of the AFC. What about in the NFC? We have an NFC.
Well, let's talk about Teddy Bridgewater, right? He's coming back, right? He's with the Jets now, right?
Yeah, Teddy Bridgewater he's with the Jets, but he's going to be fighting for a spot. Not necessarily a spot. He's going to be on the roster, but he's fighting for probably backup right now. In all honesty, I think he's probably going to be a backup.
Yeah, I think that's Jets' Donald's team until for the draft choice that they put out for him and pay him money on. I think he's going to be the number 1 quarterback going the season.
Oh, you think the rookie is?
I think Donald will be the starting quarterback. I really do. Who else they got? Josh McNeil, Josh McCown.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't know. I mean,
You don't think McCown's going to start?
that's what I thought.
I think McCown is probably going to start. McCown had a good season last year.
He did.
He got hurt near the end of the season.
He got a little nicked at the end of the season, but he had a productive season. That's for sure.
And then you got so that covers basically some of the AFC stuff.
NFC, who we got?
Well, let's see.
Carson Wentz, of course. For him to come back, see what he's going to do.
Nobody wants to talk about that.
He seemed to be ahead of the injury.
His projections to come back.
Yeah. Exactly. He's far along than what they predicted him to be. He seemed to be coming along real well.
Yeah, I think he's planning to. His plans are to be ready to go week 1.
Yeah, he's not doing 11 on 11 yet, but I think they're liking his progress, and it'll be real interesting to see how having Nick Foles and Carson Wentz.
Well, I mean, there's no competition if Wentz is healthy enough.
I think Foles knows his role with that team. He's a backup. He knows he's a backup. I think everything is set in Philadelphia. That Wentz, when he's 100%, he's ready to come back. Wentz will be the starting quarterback.
Oh, most definitely.
And not only that, but I think that's part of the reason too why Foles didn't try to take another deal or go with another squad.
That's true.
I think that's why he stayed in Philadelphia, because he knows his role. He knows that Carson Wentz is actually the man.
And I think he also knows that Carson Wentz needs to learn to play a little more careful, because he's going to mess around and get himself hurt again if he continues to play the way he plays. So, not sit back there and make that money and have a chance to step in when they need him.
Well, as long as he knows how to slide, much better than RG3 does, then he'll be good.
Oh boy, still harping on that RG3 dude.
Who?
I guess we know who's the Redskins fan out of this table.
I will always be salty about that.
Yeah. The Packers lost one of their starting linebackers, Jake Ryan, tore his ACL, so he's out for the season. They had another injury too. It was a D end, but it wasn't anything serious, just a couple of weeks. But they're looking a little cursed again with these injuries hitting them. So
as long as Aaron Rodgers stays healthy, I think they're they're pretty good.
Yeah,
that's the curse. That's the curse you really don't want, is Aaron Rodgers getting hurt again.
Absolutely. Aaron Rodgers is that team. He leads them. He carries them. They ride his back. However well he does, how successful that team is.
So, and staying in that, in the NFC, Seattle, Doug Baldwin is out for a couple of weeks with a knee injury, and I mean, who's their other receivers?
They picked up Brandon Marshall, who looks like a linebacker now.
From the Giants, Brandon Marshall?
Yeah, that's right.
He's still playing.
I didn't either.
He looks like a linebacker playing wide receiver.
Is that good weight or bad weight he put on?
Well, I mean, what is he? He's 30. What's Brandon Marshall?
He's got to be like, what, 32?
Early 30s.
He's old.
Yeah, he's an old receiver that's been injury prone the last, 2 or 3 years?
I don't know how much production you get out of that one. Really don't know. That's going to be one of the wait and see.
I don't remember if they drafted any receivers.
But really, I think what's really going to help Seattle's whole offense if they can establish a run game.
They definitely need to do more than they did last year. Because last year it was all just like the Packers. It was about Russ. If Russ did well, the team did well. But Russ was doing everything. I mean, how is your quarterback your leading rusher?
Well, they didn't protect him either.
Right, they didn't protect him.
Really need.
And he had to run to save his life, and he had to throw to save his life. And Russ led them to all the wins that they had.
Yeah, it's funny because they did a training camp interview with Russell Wilson. And one of the first things they said, how's it going in camp? And one of the first things he said was, the line is protecting well. So that tells you right there, it's been on his mind, and it still is on his mind.
Yeah, they drafted a running back, Rashad Penny. He seems to be emerging as a number one back. He's going to be a threat for him in the running game.
Well, no, they need a running number one back, because I can't tell you the last time they had one since Marshawn.
Yeah, that's true.
They've been bit a lot with the running backs lately.
I mean, they've gone through 5, 6, 7. Every time you turn around, Seattle had a new running back in the backfield trying to do something.
Some other key injuries in the NFC. Panthers got a couple of wide receivers that coming back from injuries. Funchess looking pretty good. They drafted kid DJ Moore from out of Maryland. He's been looking good in training camp. What do you think about their chances?
Of course, Funchess is going to put up his numbers. But Moore, he's a rookie. And it's hard to go into a season relying on rookies for some things. You know what I mean? He's still learning the game. When those lights go on and the speed of that game hits, and he's not separating from these corners like he used to in college, things change.
But the one kind of like blessing is like wide receiver is normally one of the better, easier positions for a rookie to come in and be successful in their first or second year.
What do you think about McCaffrey? You think he duplicate his rookie season that he did last year?
I had him in fantasy last season. He did excellent. I expect him to do the same thing this season as well. I expect great things from him.
It's going to be about the creativity of the offense too. You got to stay creative with it.
And they got to keep protecting Cam, and they can't have Cam out there running every other down and getting beat up like he had the last couple of years.
Well, and I guess the question is that the play calling though, or is it Cam still hasn't matured into the game to say, look, make smarter decisions?
I think like last year was he was making a little more smart decisions. The year before, I think that was part of the game.
Yeah, I agree. The year before, I think it was, and last year I think they did try to change that. But if you look at it, there were times when he still went out there and made a couple of risky, maybe unnecessary plays with his body.
This is what, seventh season? Yeah, he got drafted in 2011. If he hasn't learned by now, I mean.
Well, exactly. Will he learn? That's the thing.
And in part of Cam's defense, though, I mean, like a lot of the referees like don't call a lot of stuff on him just because he's so big as they would call other quarterbacks.
I'm not talking about when he's in the pocket. I agree.
I mean, but even like running, I mean, sometimes he would get hit or would be going to like slide or whatever and get hit.
I would say
they wouldn't call a personal foul.
I would say there were a lot more calls that were not called on him last year that should have been. Staying in the same division, Tampa Bay Buccaneers got interesting.
Who's the quarterback now? Is it going to be?
That's a good question.
What's the Marcus? Who's the
Fitzpatrick?
Fitzpatrick.
Yeah,
That's it.
Well, they're actually better off. In my opinion,
I agree.
Better off.
I do agree.
How long is Winston out?
4 games.
4 games.
Is it 4 or 3?
That was 4.
Oh, I thought it was 3.
You think Fitzpatrick is better than Winston?
Reduced.
Maybe he might have got reduced.
I think he got it reduced. I thought it was 3. But
even so.
Here's an interesting thought. So let's say 4 or 3 games, and it's 3 games, and Fitzpatrick takes him 3 and up. Not likely to happen, but let's just say it happens. Okay. Does Winston get his starting job back?
I wouldn't give it to him. I wouldn't give it to him.
I mean, so he can come in and eat some W's. I mean,
or steal some crab legs.
Right.
That was wrong. That was wrong. That was in his college days.
What do you do if you're the head coach? I mean,
and then that's true because he was drafted number 1. He is supposed to be the franchise quarter.
I think they marked him as a franchise. It's gonna be hard to set him down. But if they come out with a road, you don't want to kill the chemistry. So that's gonna be an interesting thing to find out.
And then the other thing too is how did they win those 3 games? Was it because of Fitzpatrick's play or in spite of Fitzpatrick's play? Would also play a big role in that.
Well, yeah. If it's in spite of his play, then of course you're gonna put Winston in. But
I don't have much faith in Fitzpatrick. I think the Buccaneers probably won't be that good this year.
Win team this year. 5, maybe 6.
So how about the Falcons?
Well, they got the big, elephant in the room off their back by signing Julio with the contract that he wanted to make him happy because without Julio,
pay him,
which never should have been a thing at all. I mean, I don't know how it's even an issue.
He only got $3 million more. He didn't really even get paid that much more when they restructured it. It wound up being like $3.5 million more, I think. Or something
is it guaranteed? Was it guaranteed money?
I don't think they guaranteed the whole thing.
Okay.
And is that you saying like $3 million for just this year, or?
Yeah, just this year. Next year they're gonna. They said that they would renegotiate. That was part of it.
As long as he's happy and he's playing, and they mission accomplished.
I mean, would you have redone his contract? I mean, I guess the way that they redid it, they didn't break the bank. But, Julio's been hurt the last few years too. You know what I mean? And he's getting older. He's still pretty dominant.
Absolutely. I mean, whenever Matt Ryan is in trouble, he just throws it up to Julio.
But you know, when you're looking towards your cap future and things like that, I mean, how many more years does Julio probably have? He probably has about 3 more that are actually, and he has 3 more left on his contract.
And I think another thing that's going to help Atlanta too is they drafted Calvin Ridley, and he's going to open up a lot.
Yeah,
a lot.
But yeah, and that's the thing. That's another reason why you have to ask yourself, because do you really want to break the bank with Julio? Because you got Calvin Ridley, and then you have Sanu, and Sanu is a good support. You know, he's a good.
Yeah, he's definitely a good number 2.
But
we got. Say that again.
Well, I think what he's saying, he's not no Julio Jones.
Well, yeah, he's not Julio.
And Julio, I mean, he dictates defenses. Defenses have to do something with Julio when their ball is snapped. They got to know where he is, what he's doing, and they can't let Julio burn you.
He has to be accounted for.
It's easier for the other wide receivers with Julio on the field.
But you gotta think, like, and we can move on from this. We don't want to harp too much on it, but you got to think along the lines of a GM. Not only do you want to win now, you want to win in the future, and you can't put too much money into this guy because he is getting older.
But also, as a GM, you're thinking last year we were in the playoffs and we lost a dumb game to Philadelphia that we should have won and probably could have went further.
They didn't lose the game because of play. They left the game. Play call.
There's a lot of coaching. Yeah.
Much like the Super Bowl.
Yeah, right. And they were just in the Super Bowl the year before, so
and
the window is not that wide. It's not that big.
That's true. So I mean, we've covered everybody but the Saints.
I mean,
Saints are a juggernaut.
They're always right there.
Juggernaut.
Yeah, they are. They're always right there. And they got Brandon Cooks. They just signed him to a crazy deal, which I don't know if he was worth that much, but they seem to want to set the market with the wide receiver pay. So.
And then I mean, too, the only drawback they got is that they lost what's the running back?
Mark Ingram.
Because of the suspension. But
well, you got Kamara sitting there,
especially fantasy wise.
Yeah,
I don't think you miss a beat. You just play more Kamara.
Yeah,
and you know.
But is Kamara like an every down back? Is he that type of back?
He could be. I think he can be that. He can be that. For
I mean, you're not going to necessarily run him between the tackles every play, but yeah, I think he can do that.
Who's
Your audio is breaking up, Marcus. Say it again.
So who's the third string running back?
That's a good question. If you're asking about your third string running back, you're probably in trouble anyway.
You say Ingram's out, and so it's just Kamara. I mean, he has to have somebody.
They signed a journeyman too.
They had talked about bringing Peterson back, didn't they? At one point?
That was a debacle.
Well, you know.
Yeah, it was. I drafted him in fantasy.
yeah, I thought he was going to do something too, and then I thought he would do something with the Cardinals. But yeah, Adrian is done. Did he retire? Is he still
retired? He retired.
He ain't with nobody, is he?
He's not officially retired,
but he's not signed.
No, his last stitch was down in the Cardinals in Arizona, and he didn't do too well in there either.
Yeah, 1 or 2 good weeks in Arizona. I remember when he did a little something.
Like 1 good week, I think it was.
I think you was the only one following Marcus.
It was pretty much a wrap for him. All right, so let's move on to the NFC East. Let's see what's kind of cover that a little.
Dallas Cowboys. Who's going to be their starting tight end?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think it's gonna be the rookie. They got the rookie out of Notre Dame. I think
we're going to
be surprised.
I think Swain's going to be. Swain has been in the system for the last 2 years. I think he's going to be he's going to be Dak's blanket for right now.
I don't feel like he's as much of a receiving threat.
He's not, but he's more on that Jason Wood style. He'll be safe. He'll be where he's supposed to be.
Slow your roll. No,
he's not. You know what I'm trying to get at.
You can tell what Cowboy fans say. What do you think about the signing of Tavon Austin? I think that's going to be
the key. I think the key to our offense this year, it has to be to play more creativity. It has to be. You can't have Beasley and Austin and Zeke and run a stale, crappy offense. You have to be creative. You should be seeing multiple lineups, multiple formations. You can't just sit there and run the same stuff that we ran last year. It's just not going to work.
And you got Elliott there for the whole season this year, so I think that'll help out that offense and help out that a whole lot.
But with the Tavon Austin question, it definitely will help because Tavon's going to be like our switchblade. He's going to be the one where you don't know where he's going to be. Are we going to throw a shuffle pass to him real quick, or we're going to run a boot with him or whatever? He's the guy with the speed and the quickness that the defenses just don't know what to do.
That's true. So the Giants got Eli back as starting. OBJ is back, healthy, supposedly. They got the best running back in the draft.
Trayvon Martin.
So where did the Giants fall?
My biggest issue with the Giants is their offensive line. They didn't really do much to change that. So I don't know how successful Saquon is going to be in his first season, but OBJ has always been a monster. Is going to be a monster. As long as he's healthy, he will be a threat. And I mean, even a blind man can throw to him. So Eli should have some numbers.
But he has to have time.
He doesn't.
Like you said, that line. And then to me, if the line can't block, how much of a threat is Barkley? I mean, he's gonna get his numbers, but I just don't understand why they didn't address their line. More.
Another one I'm scratching my head of. They lost JBP. I don't know if they really have a pass rusher right now.
Yeah.
Either.
What was the guy they got 3 years ago? They signed all of them to 54.
Olivier
Vernon. Olivier Vernon. Yeah. Yes, nice. Marcus, what do you think about the Giants?
I believe it. I believe in Eli. It's gonna be interesting.
Really?
You believe in Eli? We trust.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see what they do. I don't know. It's gonna be a big improvement. Like you said, they haven't addressed their line. If they don't have an offensive line, then what must be happening for them. But it'd be interesting to see. How Saquon Barkley does this year. What OBJ does. It'll be very interesting. I'm definitely looking to draft Saquon in my first running back in fantasy.
We'll talk that fantasy stuff another show.
Well, we have that fantasy talk for another show.
Yeah. Let's talk.
We talk about the Redskins. Yeah.
Well, that was a good subject. Who's next?
Alex Smith. You think he's a upgrade from Kirk Cousins? Or?
Well, I don't know. I just heard the other day that Alex Smith had the best quarterback rating last year. They had the #1 quarterback rating. So
played for the Chiefs then.
Yeah, I know.
Who did the Chiefs really beat? Who did they play and beat?
That first game.
Yeah, they did beat New England.
Sure. Beat the hell out of them that first game.
Well, the hell out of them, but they beat.
No, they did beat the hell out of that first game.
That game was close. I think they beat him in the fourth quarter.
He had a better. Wait, now was it his QBR or was it the passer rating?
The passer rating. He had the #1 passer rating last year.
Overall, he was a good quarterback. He was getting the ball deep, but they kept complaining about he never could do.
He had playmakers around.
Exactly, that's the key. He had a lot of playmakers around.
Yeah, he definitely doesn't have that many. He doesn't have that many playmakers.
Why doesn't he?
Who he had? Who does he have? Who? He doesn't have that many playmakers. Who's he have?
Who's your threat receiver?
Nobody right now.
80.
Yeah, if you're thinking that long.
Who's number 80?
They don't have a receiver.
What's number 80? Start with a C. Cockrell. Marcus, what's his name?
Yeah,
Crowder.
Yeah, Jameson Crowder.
Jameson Crowder.
Okay.
We'll see.
They just drafted the guy from Seattle. I mean, they picked him up in the free agent.
Richardson from
Seattle.
If
he stays healthy,
if he stays healthy,
he's a monster.
But he does. I don't think you can compare their lineup to Kansas City's lineup last year. I mean, they were stacked in running back, wide receiver.
Who they have wide receiver besides the little fast guy?
That's why he did it.
You had Hunt, who was running the ball real well.
Right.
You had Kelsey.
Redskins don't have a Kareem Hunt, so
Who was the wide receiving crew?
And then you had the
Who was number 10?
he killed Cowboys.
Shut up. They lost that game for the record.
Hill.
Go ahead. Hill, that's it.
yeah.
Tyreek Hill.
Hill, right.
I mean, when you compare the Chiefs, in my opinion, when you compare the Chiefs to the Skins,
Chiefs are a better team.
yeah, they're a better team. So
I think with the Redskins healthy, their offense.
So I go back to my question: is Alex Smith upgrade from Kirk Cousins?
in my opinion, it's not.
No, same. I think it's the same.
I think I come up with the same myself.
I disagree. I actually think he is upgrade.
You think he's an upgrade?
Oh.
I do.
No,
I think it's the same. I think you lost nothing, you gained nothing.
Huh?
I give you a wash.
Yeah, it's completely. To me, it's a wash. It's even.
Simple
You
fact.
lost nothing, you gained nothing.
He will drop off and he will take off running to get you yards. And he's more of an anticipation quarterback where he's going to throw that ball where the receiver's supposed to be, where Cousins was waiting for the receiver to be wide open before he can let that ball go.
I mean, we'll see, but I don't really have a lot of high hopes. I don't think it's a better. I think it's like I said, to me, it's a wash.
Cousins is $84 million.
Dude, the difference between
It's better than having a sorry quarterback.
it's not that big.
Right, it's not.
The
it's
difference
not that
between
big.
Kirk Cousins' contract with Minnesota and what Alex Smith signed with the Skins, it was about a $4 million difference per year, I think, which was kind of crazy to me because that means the Skins really and y'all. I mean, they just really blew that.
And Alex Smith is older anyway. I mean, he's not going to.
Yeah, Smith is older. You gave Kirk
But
Cousins
he's-
like $40 million in 2 years. He turned around and went to Minnesota and made this huge contract, and then you brought in an older quarterback and you paid him about $3 million less than what you could have had Kirk Cousins.
Yeah, but
3 or
the
4
reason
million
why
less.
they end up having to do that is because they had
Marriage.
such bad blood. And
Marriage.
they weren't going to get Cousins. Cousins wasn't going to sign back with them.
Yeah, you're right.
So they
That
went and
marriage-
got the
marriage-
next best thing that they
That
could
marriage
find
went sour.
available.
It
you
went
could-
They
sour.
should have did
You
it 2
could have
years
got-
ago. They didn't do it, so now they had to do what they had to do.
But they could have still traded for Alex Smith. They didn't have to give him that contract. That's my thing. They didn't have to give him that
I
contract.
think, but no. But there were a lot of teams out there looking at Alex Smith. So I think that's part of the reason why the Redskins wanted to be
it doesn't matter.
go
though, if-
get their quarterback in advance and have that set.
That doesn't
Don't have
anything
to
do with
worry
the
about
contract.
trying to battle or fight.
That doesn't have anything
Because
to do
I
with
think
the
there
contract. You just have
other
to give up
teams
the
were
right-
going to do the same thing.
No, you have to give up the right compensation for him. You take his current contract. I'm not sure what his current contract was. He might have had a year or two left on it, but it was all about what you gave the Chiefs.
But but Andy Reid was looking to give Alex Smith the best contract he could because he liked Alex Smith. He really didn't want to release Alex Smith. But even if he could have got a good deal that would benefit Alex, he was willing to do it. And the Redskins gave him what he wanted.
I think the Redskins gave him the players he wanted. Because when it comes down to it, yeah, you could try to put him in a good position, in a good situation, but he wanted him out of the AFC. And Henry got what he wanted. I just think the Skins maybe should have held off on the contract.
And look, Andy's really good with giving the Redskins quarterback. So,
Yeah, exactly.
hey, what about Geis? Nobody said nothing about
The
Geis.
rookie running back.
I haven't seen him. I want to see him doing preseason, see what he does, see if the hype is there. He's getting good reports from training camp, but until you actually got that ball in your hands, he runs to them linemen. So.
And last in the NFC East, the Eagles.
The Eagles, the defending Super Bowl
Wow,
champion.
didn't we start with the
Eagles.
Eagles?
We
We talked
We just
about
talking
Carson
about
Wentz.
Wentz.
You talk about Wentz.
the injury stuff. But so, do you expect the Eagles to repeat?
Eagles are loaded. The Eagles are stacked.
The Eagles are loaded.
Carson Wentz is healthy. I think they'll be real tough. They'll be tough to. They probably will take the division. I hate to say it.
I think the only biggest issue they have is going to be probably the starting running back. If Ajayi could be the main cowbell for him,
That's the question.
that's the really only question I really have about the Eagles. Everything else is still remain the same.
You know they got Sproles back. He's coming off an injury and he is older, but they got Sproles
Yeah,
back.
they did. Well, this is just my thoughts. And granted, yeah, they are loaded, but every year the NFC East is up for grabs. I don't care what you did the year before; it's up for grabs.
But the Eagles are really good though.
I don't care. We were really good the one year, and we didn't win the division the next year.
Who's we? You gotta say who.
I'm sorry. The Cowboys were were really good one year and didn't win the division the next year. And when you go back and look, I mean, it hasn't repeated since I think the Eagles did it.
It's been a while since we had a
back
repeat.
in like 2000 or something like that. You know,
from your division, from the NFC division.
I'm gonna say it's up for grabs again. Now, are they the front runners? Yeah, you can say they're the front runners, but you got to play the game.
Who's gonna snatch it from them then?
What?
Who's gonna snatch it from them? If they're the front runners, who could rise up and take that spot?
I feel like Dallas or the Giants can take it. Even the Redskins have a chance
to do something
because we beat each other up year in and year out. You know what I mean?
But I don't think the Giants.
Well, I mean, I think if you look at how the division ended, how we placed last year, of course you have to say Dallas is right there because we were second in the division, and then the Eagles were third. I'm sorry, then the Giants were were last. Redskins were third, and the Giants were last. So if you look at how we finished, you can say, okay, why did Dallas finish where they finished? Well, we had all the Zeke problems. Dallas had all the Zeke problems. So now you get Zeke back for 16 games if he stays healthy. And it's a totally different offense for Dallas. And then the Giants, you know, they lost all their receivers.
They lost.
Even as bad as their line was, they lost every one of their starting receivers. They had guys starting that they picked up off the street.
The Redskins lost their whole squad.
Yeah, the Skins, they were devastated by. So when you look at why they dominated the division, there were a lot of injuries in our division. There was a lot of
they did play other teams.
What's our division?
That was good. Well,
the NFC East.
They played Minnesota well. They played well.
Yeah, but
and Carson Wentz before he got hurt was like part of. They were trying to say he was going to be MVP of the league.
But the key to winning our division has always been to beat the other teams in our division. And I think the Eagles went. They went what 5-1. They only lost to us the last week of the season, and that's because they only lost to Dallas the last week of the season. And that was just because
and we shut them out.
That was just because they didn't care. So if you can beat your division, if you can beat the division, you win the division in the NFC East. You usually win, and that's pretty much probably all the divisions. But in the NFC East, it's really important.
I think Carson Wentz is going to try to be a special quarterback. He looked really good last year. I think we're looking at a couple of years of domination by the Eagles. Not like the Patriots, in the AFC East, but not that much for domination. But I think we're looking at some domination for a while.
Not at all. I really don't. And
I wouldn't say domination, but the Eagles are going to be.
They'll contend.
Will be very. They're not going to be an easy one.
No, they won't be. But I don't think they're going to dominate. I couldn't see them reeling off 3 or 4 in a row division wins.
You don't think so?
No. Not 3 or 4 in a row. No way.
We'll see. I think they might be that good.
All right, so we've been on the NFC East for a while.
I wonder why.
Yeah, right. Let's talk about the NFC North for just a little bit. You know, we talked about injuries, but Green Bay's got Aaron Rodgers coming back. He hasn't had a contract extension yet, which is interesting. He's going to break the bank. They need to pay him before he
got to sign him.
Yeah, they need to pay him now before he has a ridiculous year this year and makes it even more expensive.
I mean, but even if he had a bad year, you cannot not sign Aaron Rodgers.
Well, it's not that you're not going to. I mean, look at what Kirk Cousins did. Was it $84 million guaranteed contract? Fully guaranteed contract. So Aaron Rodgers getting a fully guaranteed contract.
He's going to break the bank.
It's just a matter of if you're going to give him $100 million or $120 million. Something crazy like that.
He'd be the highest paid player in the NFL when he signs his contract.
Most definitely.
And deserves to be, truthfully.
Yeah, he does.
Who's going to start at running back for
they drafted a running back, didn't they?
From mine right now. They got 2 guys from last year, Jamal Williams and the other guy name.
I guess how important is a running back for Green Bay?
True. That's true.
You gotta have some running game. Aaron Rodgers can't do it all by himself.
What? Well, he's been doing it all by himself.
Hey, we also forget the fact that they signed a key person for that offense, Jimmy Graham.
Is he key? Because after Jimmy Graham went to Seattle, It was like what happened?
I don't think they utilize him.
I don't think they utilize him right either.
I don't think
they utilize him right.
Jimmy Graham is a threat.
He is.
So
Aaron Rodgers
is a feel like he's going to come back to the form that he was when he was with New Orleans?
Absolutely. Oh, absolutely. With Aaron Rodgers, yeah, I think that would be possible. Yeah.
It's going to be interesting to watch and see.
And they also added another tight end.
Mercedes Lewis, is that
from Jacksonville?
Yeah, for tight end they got Jimmy Graham,
and Mercedes.
Ryan Smith, and Mercedes Lewis.
There you go. Yeah.
And how about the Vikings? Let's talk about the Vikings. They just got their franchise quarterback,
Kirk Cousins.
$84 million.
In Kirk, we trust.
I mean, when you look at what they had on the field last year, and in my opinion, Kirk Cousins is definitely an upgrade.
I agree with that.
If the offense works and he everything clicks and it's not a learning curve, how do you not say that they repeat?
They'll be good. I think what's the wide receiver's name? Stephon Diggs.
He's got a contract extension. Stephon Diggs, 5-year contract, $72 million contract extension.
It'll be a good year for those two, I anticipate.
And they're getting their running back.
Yep, Dalvin Cook. He's back.
Yes.
And then you got Thielen. Thielen was like
he just got a sign or something.
Thielen?
I heard of something about Thielen getting a contract or extension or something.
I didn't.
So you think it's safe to say Minnesota is if they don't go to the Super Bowl, it's a bust?
I'm not going to say that.
It's still Green Bay's division.
No, I totally disagree.
What? With a healthy Aaron Rodgers?
I honestly think it's Minnesota's division.
I think it's Minnesota too. I think Minnesota is on the track of going back to the NFC Championship League. Yeah. Super Bowl, not too sure about, but Cousins is going to be an interesting.
You got to look at it like this too, and not to take away from Green Bay when they was dominating the division, but nobody else in the division was doing anything.
All Minnesota had at that particular time was a defense.
Right.
Now they got an offense and a defense.
Detroit, they haven't been relevant, and Chicago, I'm sorry, they haven't been relevant either. They just haven't. So it's been easy for them to dominate that division. It's not going to be so easy now, at least with Minnesota. I don't know about Chicago and Detroit just yet. I think Detroit
will be in there.
It's going to take a couple of years.
I mean, they're normally
they've got a coach from New England's tree, Matt Patricia. I think he's going to bring a lot of winning attitude to that team. It's
how many New England coaching tree coaches have been successful?
New England, not many.
Yeah. So,
I mean, except when they go back to New England.
Right. So he's got a lot to prove. I mean, I see what you're saying. He's definitely going to change the mindset in Detroit. I don't know. It's like they try too hard sometimes when they leave New England.
The coaches do, yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, oh, I gotta win. We gotta do this. We gotta do that. So that's going to be interesting. But I got to give them a couple of years. I got to give them, not this year, maybe next year they'll start to be a little more competitive.
Chicago's garbage.
It's so funny to me because
it's a juggle. It's a toss up with them, man.
Trubisky. I'm not sold on Trubisky.
I'm not sold on him, but the coaches are, and they have this mentality where they're like, "Yo, we're gonna let this dude loose, and he's gonna be slinging the ball," and I'm like, "It's Trubisky, whatever the heck his name is, like
Mitch Trubisky."
Where does that come from? Where does this "we're gonna sling the ball around and let this dude fire it down the field" come from?
You gotta learn some kind of way. Learn by doing.
So, or getting killed.
I don't know.
But in my opinion, it's Green Bay's division. Minnesota number 2 until they prove they can consistently beat Green Bay. And
you don't think that Minnesota can keep up scoring with Green Bay?
Not to mention slow Green Bay down.
You don't think that Minnesota's defense against Green Bay's defense?
I believe that much in Aaron Rodgers. He's probably the number 1 quarterback in the league right now.
He is, but it's a team sport. You got to have somebody to stop them.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Minnesota's defense can stop them.
So we'll see.
Who else did we miss in the North? Is that it?
That was everybody.
Let's talk about the AFC North because the man sitting in the middle we haven't really talked about. his favorite team.
The Ravens.
You don't know those Ravens.
Move those chains.
Ravens got an interesting scenario because I think Flacco is working on a real short leash. If he doesn't go out there and produce, Lamar Jackson is breathing down his back to take that job.
This season is Flacco's last chance.
Oh, Lamar Jackson, not Robert.
He didn't say Robert.
No.
Robert doesn't even get out of training camp.
I don't think Robert Griffin is going to be.
He doesn't get past the first game, the first preseason game he starts in. He'll get hurt and then he'll be in reserve.
He's going to be the third string when the season starts.
It's interesting because you have Flacco, straight pocket passing, and then you have Lamar Jackson. You got RG3. These guys are read options, runners. They can run. They can throw from the pocket too. So the fact that they drafted, Lamar and they brought in RG3, that's a completely different offense if Flacco goes down.
Well, I think that's saying that Flacco's time is pretty much up.
That's what I'm wondering. Are you looking at Flacco maybe we're ready to start moving on from him? And, because, you're talking about a totally different type of offense.
And Flacco has been progressively going down ever since he got that big contract.
Yeah,
he's gotten worse every year since he signed that contract. So I think this is his last chance.
Two questions I have about Baltimore is who's going to be their starting running back and their wide receivers. They truly don't have a number one.
They do. They have Crabtree. They signed Crabtree.
So they got Crabtree, Macklin, and Snead.
Oh, they ain't got Macklin. Do they still have Macklin? I thought they let him go.
No.
He didn't do nothing last year.
Exactly. That's the whole point.
He was there last year in Baltimore?
Exactly. That's the whole point.
Yeah. And then what about the running back?
They found him last year. Alex Collins. Yeah.
But is he the true number one?
We'll find out this year. He ran well last year. He did run well last year, in spite of how putrid that offense was.
So how about the Browns?
We can just skip them and go on to the next.
You gotta talk about
they
Baker
just signed the number one
man.
draft pick.
Yeah,
He's not even starting.
Is he gonna start or is Tyrod?
Tyrod Taylor's gonna start. It's Tyrod's team right now. He could lose it. You never know, but right now it's his team.
Browns though, that's 2 weeks.
But the Browns, as bad as they played last year, they were in a lot of those games. A lot of them, and they either threw it away or let something happen at the last minute and lost a lot of games. I think Tyrod's a safer quarterback. I think he won't make the same mistakes. I think they have a chance to win a few more games. Well, definitely have a chance to win some games.
I don't see Tyrod as much of a difference from a rookie, in all honesty. He'll still make some of them bonehead.
He got Buffalo to the champion, to the playoffs
did he or
last
did
year.
McCoy get him there?
No, he got him to the playoffs last year.
I think he helped get him. I think right now Tyrod is the answer for right now. And Baker Mayfield is the future.
But this is the Browns. Like, they can only go up anyway. You know what I mean? So
They didn't win a game last season, right?
Huh?
They didn't win a game last season, right?
No,
They
they were 0-16.
So why
You win one game, you automatically do way better than you went last season.
not just
You want 50% more.
and you think the rookie can't do that? You think the rookie can't?
Do you want to put your rookie out there like that?
If you can protect him and you play smart, you don't ask him to do too much, and you do what he can do. You call plays for what he can do successfully. You know what I mean? Don't ask him to do too much. No, you don't. Don't ask him to do too much, and he won't lose his confidence. There's not a whole lot of difference between him and Tyrod.
Tyrod got lots of experience at this point.
I'm not sold on Tyrod as being my franchise quarterback, but I think he can win more games than the rookie. He did. He already did last year.
Yeah, because the rookie was in college last year. So
No, because he was with Buffalo, and Buffalo ran the ball.
Well, actually, if you're going like then Baker Mayfield won more games last year than Tyrod Taylor.
Okay, we're talking college and pro.
Totally one more. So, I don't know. I feel like you didn't win any games last year. You might as well roll with the rookie. You might as well roll with him.
Okay, so now we need to jump to Cincinnati.
Yeah,
Cincinnati,
let's go to the
they're another
Red
team.
Rocket.
There's another team that's hard to figure them out whether or not they're gonna go on the up scale or hit the bottom again.
I'm just amazed that Marvin Lewis is coaching another year.
On my mind, like he was supposed to be gone. Why he came back to the
He's like the second longest tenured coach, like behind
behind Belichick.
Yeah,
behind Belichick. Yeah, that's
Yes.
crazy.
Yes.
hasn't won nothing.
And hasn't won
Nothing.
anything. Yes.
Have they even won a playoff? I know have they won a playoff game?
No, I don't.
No, they lost.
Don't they
to-
lose
they
like
lost
every
to
year in the
Pittsburgh.
playoffs?
They lost to Pittsburgh last 2 years.
They should have won that one season where Pittsburgh, the guy rolled over Carson Palmer's knee.
Oh yeah. Oh my God! How long ago was that?
That was quite a while ago.
That was a long time ago, Marcus.
I'm just saying they had a chance then. They were looking good up until that point.
So I mean, it's not really on Marvin Lewis. Why does ownership
Time out.
bring him back?
Yes, it is on Marvin.
No,
Lewis.
I'm not saying because they're losing.
No, because the
Why
ownership is
ownership bring
terrible.
them back?
Ownership is terrible and cheap and
That's-
lazy.
yeah,
and
that's true.
they
They don't like
the
the payoff. They're like, you know what? Let's just go through the end of this contract and that's it. But it's crazy.
Well, maybe putting together a winning, constantly winning NFL team was not that easy.
But we know it's not that easy. But you got
Unless you're Kraft and Belichick.
he's been there too long. Let's just move on from the Bengals. There's nothing to
Pittsburgh.
talk about in all honesty.
Pittsburgh.
Let's move on from this.
Le'Veon Bell.
Mr. Holdout.
Is this
That's
going to
what
be
we're
his
gonna call
last year with the Steelers? Would
Yeah.
you say?
him.
I did.
He's still holding out. He hasn't reported, right?
No, he's not.
He's not coming in.
He's going to come for the first game of the season.
Well, running backs don't need training camp anyway.
That's
I agree.
That
I
is
agree. But the Steelers look. I mean, they look like. They're built right now to go back to the Super Bowl. It's just a matter of they can put everything together and beat New England. New England's been their nemesis for the last couple of years in the AFC Championship. I think Ben has 3 more good years left in him.
How old has Ben now? What is he like?
Ben is like 36.
Something
I
like
think
that. He said he
36.
wants to play till he's 40.
He did.
So,
Um,
I can agree with that. Ben hasn't had a lot of injuries. I haven't seen his arm strength weaken. I mean, not injuries like.
Okay, I'm about to say because
He's been
pretty much
injured,
gets
but
injured like every year.
He's such a big dude. You know what I mean?
Just not long
nothing
injury. He's normally like
serious.
a,
Yeah, he's
a
had little
game or 2
nagging
or
type
3.
injuries. Nothing real serious. But I mean, I think he can go 3 or 4 more years.
and the weapons that they have.
Why did they stop broadcasting?
Because we're ready to stop the broadcast. That's
Because it was
probably not that important right
It
now.
was greedy. So, like you were saying about Ben,
Yeah, I can see him going 3 or 4 more years. Yeah. And the weapons, like you said, the weapons he has around him. Why won't the Steelers pay Le'Veon? I mean,
I think it's not the Steelers aren't willing to pay him. I think Le'Veon's value of what he thinks he's worth is not in line with the NFL standards at this
he
point.
wants a wide receiver.
If you think
contract.
about it, the NFL is set up. A quarterback, you have a certain amount that they allow for a quarterback. That allow a certain amount for a running back, another certain amount for wide receiver. For what Le'Veon is asking for, he asking for quarterback money.
No, he wants wide
He
receiver.
wants wide receiver.
Wide receiver. I'm sorry.
Because he feels
wide
like-
receiver
and
money.
he is a wide receiver threat,
He
but
is.
he's labeled as a running back. So.
Yes, but
I feel like he's worth it.
Steelers is another franchise. We don't. they
And
don't-
but the other thing too is
they don't guarantee
Le'Veon
contract.
has had issues with suspensions
True.
and injuries, and he's 30 what?
No, he's
27.
27.
So
27.
even today, I mean, if you sign him to a thing, you know
Yeah,
that 30 is that threshold.
Right, so 3
So-
years.
Yeah.
Probably won't kill your cap too much. I mean, do you think he'll sit out the season? Do you?
No, I don't think he should have
sit
said because if he plays this year and he does well, he's gonna break the bank.
Is he?
Somebody's
With
gonna pay
who?
the money. Somebody will pay the
like
money.
we just talked about, he's only getting 3 years.
Yeah.
I'm only getting
I know.
3
Yeah,
years.
and so this is one of the 3. So he has 2.
Well, no, he's turning 27.
Okay.
I think he's 26. He'll be 27.
So this will
Right,
be
he'll
the
be
year.
27 at the end of the year.
So he'll have 3 years. I'm only giving him a 3-year contract. But this is the thing though, they've devalued the running back position because you can get these running backs out of college now.
Yes.
So do you break the bank on this?
And in the running back position, it's not a long-term position.
It's not.
I tell you the thing to pay attention to also is they have James Conner is the backup. You will see a lot of him in preseason.
And that's the other thing too, is that the
If he does
Steelers,
well,
even when Le'Veon isn't there, that offense seemed to keep moving with whatever running back they put back there.
You got to worry about Brown and their receiving.
Yeah,
They've got a lot of weapons.
Then there's a bigger issue.
I'm impressed with the tight end. Been stepped up. Been playing real well last couple of years.
Matter of fact, now that the rules have changed, y'all can probably be New England. That wasn't funny, Marcus?
Huh? What'd you say?
I said that wasn't funny.
That wasn't.
All right. Well, I think we've covered pretty much everything we wanted to cover. We probably went over the time that we planned. So, if you're watching us out there and you like what you saw, give us the likes. Even if you didn't like what you saw, give us the likes. We still want the likes. Follow us.
Button. Follow us on Facebook. Hit the subscribe button and hit the bell next to the subscribe button so you get notified whenever we go live.
And I think we'll be back next week. We're going to talk a little bit more about training camp, and we'll start to touch on a little bit of fantasy football and maybe get into how we think the season is going to play out. We'll do some little bit of predictions and stuff like that. And hit us on Facebook if there's some things you want us to talk about. Our next broadcast, we'll try to have a live chat up, so we can let the viewers chime in and give us their opinions on things also, because we want this to be an interactive type thing. We don't want y'all to just sit here and watch us. We want to talk to y'all out there. All right. So we'll see y'all next week, Wednesday, around the same time, same place.
Same bat time, same bat channel.
We appreciate y'all tuning in to Delayed Game, and we'll see y'all next week. Y'all ain't got to go home, but you got to get the woo out of here. Peace.